from the Stifel Financial Sports Studio, Tom Ackerman.
Live from downtown St. Louis, where we will be for the next 2 hours on KMOX's Sports on a Sunday morning. Tom Ackerman indeed with you. It's always great to be with you. What a beautiful day this has turned out to be. It's going to be in the 60s today, said Scott Jago. Is that what he said? I think we're looking at a high around 60, I guess. Maybe not as toasty as we thought it was going to be, but Monday's high 67.
70.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Wow. It's February 2nd. Did groundhog see a shadow? I didn't follow the groundhog. Did you follow that?
So six more weeks.
6 more weeks of winter?
Yep.
That's fine. That's all good. Well, that just means we're going to have a great spring and summer. See how positive I am? I love this town. I love being downtown. I love St. Louis. I think we're an incredible sports city with sports in our heart. I'm wearing a Worldwide Technology Raceway hoodie today because I'm excited about the new season there. On the other side of this immediate downtown / Metro East area would be downtown West, where St. Louis City SC is about to get cranking here at the end of February with their first games. Just to the west of there, Midtown. Did you see that place rocking on Friday? Chaffetz Arena was awesome. St. Louis University is going to have a good basketball team. Don't be discouraged by the performance. They played a very good Dayton team that could very well land itself in the NCAA tournament. That looked like a team that's going to go win the A-10 tournament to me. I think Dayton is still the best team top to bottom, but we'll see. That's how SLU's going to get in. Busch Stadium is about to fill, and I know that the attendance has been down, but it'll get back. They'll get it back eventually, and it's still the crown jewel of the region, the St. Louis Cardinals. Blues pack them in. Not a very good team, as we've found out, but still loyal fan base. Everybody absolutely loves them. Battlehawks are about to play inside the Dome. You know, it's getting to be that time of year where all the sports converge. A lot of buzz, weather warms up. We'll have golf being played throughout the area and tennis and pickleball, and everybody plays outside. And we'll have the Stifel Charity Classic is going to be taking place in September with PGA Tour champions coming. Next year, Belle Reeve's going to have the BMW Championship. There's always a lot going on in sports. But did you just hear that story that Stuart McMillan did about the alderman? Now, it might not have gotten a lot of attention because it was on a Friday and it was the end of the week. And so it just sort of rolled into the Saturday papers and everybody sort of does their thing over the weekend. And I know I'm a news anchor and I report the news, but this is sports on a Sunday morning and I'm going to relate this to sports. What the heck are you guys doing in the Board of Aldermen? What are you doing? Has anyone taken it? Well, I know that there have been some trips taken by some folks out there, but have you taken trips to the cities in the Midwest? Let's start there. And how they are kicking our rear end right now when it comes to sports, drawing tourists, conventions. We're a good city with good people, and that's what matters. The Board of Aldermen running into each other. I'm not picking sides here. Just I'm talking about the whole thing. City politics right now, regional politics right now. Our leaders, what are you doing to make us better as a draw regionally, as a sports city once proud, and we still in our hearts have it, and you know we come out and support it. Why aren't you making downtown better? We just got handed a lump sum of money because we had the strength to go fight Stan Kroenke in the NFL. We ended up settling with him. Probably could have gotten some more, quite honestly, if we let that drag out. I know it would have gone to appeals and blah, blah, blah. Could have gotten more, but we got some. We got $790, gave it to attorneys, about 200 of it. Split it up, that's fine. We still haven't spent $1 of it. We can't figure out how to spend it. We have people walking out of meetings. We have people going this direction and that direction. Why do we continue to run into each other in the Board of Aldermen and spin our wheels? Why? Why is Cincinnati killing us downtown? Cincinnati, same thing, on a river, a good town. I was just there. Downtown looks great, where people are out in restaurants having the time of their lives. 6 o'clock, there's a line getting into restaurants downtown, hotels, doormen. Hello, traffic going by. Indianapolis just drew 70,000+ for the wrestling there at the Dome. Drew, what was that? Was that the Royal Rumble? What was that?
Oh, the WWE.
Yeah, WWE. Yeah. Indianapolis crushes us when it comes to conventions and sports. Crushes us. Nashville, obviously, they've run away with it with all the parties going on down there. Regional cohesion. Kansas City, regional government and love and money. What the heck is going on around here? I mean, we've got a great place. I'm looking at downtown right now. Great facilities, great history, great museums. Infrastructure, yes, could use some help. But highways going in and out of here, big, wide highways. We don't have a ton of traffic. We are situated where small towns all around St. Louis want to come here. They want a vacation here. They want to hang out here. They look at us as a big booming city. And we're still sitting here spinning our wheels. Public safety, crime, trying to figure out how to remove snow and ice from the roads over and over again. Not just city. I'm going to include everybody in this because we all need to come together as a group. I know I'm banging on city politics in downtown, but this is a regional issue. Please, I'm just begging you on behalf of the citizens of St. Louis, to our city government in particular, based on what happened Friday night, please get it together and help us, because we're a great place and we love sports. We love art, we love music, we love restaurants, we love to party, and we don't want to let that go, ever. Thank you very much. All right. There was a huge trade last night in the NBA overnight that we're going to talk about at 10:45. Luka Doncic goes to the Lakers. That is amazing. At 10:30, Josh Schertz, the head coach of the Billikens, will join us. I just mentioned, don't give up on them just yet. But at 10:15, coming up in just 2 minutes, we're going to be joined by the head coach of the Missouri Tigers. Dennis Gates had himself some night. I'll assume night, but afternoon in Starkville, Mississippi. That was special. What Caleb Grill, the Missouri Tigers, did. They went down and they drilled Mississippi State yesterday. It was an incredible road win for Missouri. They're a March Madness dream right now because of this shooter, Caleb Grill, and the overall team, period. They're going to be really, really tough to stop. I will let you know that right now. We're going to talk to Dennis Gates about that in just a couple of minutes. 10:14 sports on a Sunday morning on KMOX.
Hey, Jimmy Fallon here with a quick listening tip for you. If you miss Fox Across America or any of your other Fox News favorites, do not worry. I got you covered. You can stream previously aired shows with Rewind, available exclusively on the free Audacy app. So if you're busy work days, it doesn't mean you have to miss out on the news. Listen to your Fox shows on your time with Audacy. To get started, just download the free Audacy app and search for Fox News Radio. That's Audacy, Audacy. I'm spelling it out in case you're a little slow like me.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it. Did you know that 1 in 4 people seeking treatment for ED are under 40? So you're not alone. And even better, HIMS can help. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs at up to 95% less than the brand names when you get started at hims.com/joy. It all starts with an online intake form. From there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. Through hims.com, you can access a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Millions of men experience ED, but HIMS can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
SSM Health welcomes the St. Louis Golf Expo, January 31st through February 2nd at the St. Charles Convention Center. Get free golf, free balls, and more while they last. Presented by the Post-Dispatch. Shop Pro-Am Golf Super Sale. Enjoy the Sinclair Lincoln Long Putt, Stiefel Charity Classic Simulator powered by PXG, and the Orange Whip Experience. All at the Golf Expo, January 31st through February 2nd in St. Charles. Thanks to Michelob Ultra, Little Egypt and Gateway Golf Cars, MGI, and Extreme Green. VIP tickets at STLGolfExpo.com.
Hi, I'm Jim Brennan with McKelvey Homes. Dreaming of a brand new home, but don't want to wait? You are in luck. McKelvey Homes has dozens of brand new move-in ready homes with tremendous savings up to $63,189. We have a wide variety of homes from our carefree villas to luxury custom homes at prime locations, all with McKelvey's legendary quality and personal service. Visit McKelveyHomes.com and move up to McKelvey.
Welcome back to the Gray Bar Sports on a Sunday morning.
Goldschmidt swings and he hits a drive. He hits a slammer.
Gray Bar, your distributor for electrical and datacom needs.
Billikens win! Billikens win!
Once again, from the Stiefel Financial Sports Studio, Tom Ackerman.
10:16, and I'm very pleased to have this next guest on the show. He is the head coach of the Missouri Tigers, and what a day they had yesterday. They took it to Mississippi State, 88-61. They win by 27. I've been following Mizzou my entire life. I did not see this coming. The biggest road win over a ranked team ever for Missouri. The previous was by 13 points, and that was in 1956. That is incredible. Now, they've had some great wins, but that is dropping the hammer on somebody. Number 20, Missouri beats number 14, Mississippi State, and Dennis Gates wins his 100th game as a coach. Congratulations, Coach, on that and on your victory yesterday. How are you?
I'm great. Thanks for having me on. Obviously, great time to spend with you guys today after that tough road game we had, in addition to the achievement of 100 victories. It takes a lot of people to get that accomplishment. Definitely. I share that with each of you.
It sure does. It takes a lot of people, and there are a lot of people involved on travel, on practice, on getting yourselves ready for the game, and Missouri got the job done. I want to start with this. So you and I don't know each other all that well. I've been following your program, but I've met you a couple of times and have been able to spend some time watching your team. But you and I have a very dear mutual friend in Norm Stewart. My dad and Mr. Stewart, Coach Stewart, were very, very close, and I learned a lot from him through the years. And I wanted to start with this because when you first were hired and you took over the program, it really warmed my heart and my family's heart to see you paying such a great tribute to Coach and understanding the history of what he did and appreciating that. Tell me a little bit about that relationship between you and Norm Stewart and the history of the Missouri program.
Well, first of all, it speaks for itself. I think the history of this basketball program and institution, when you look at the growth of college athletics and college basketball as a whole, Norm Stewart put this logo, put this city, put our institution at the top nationally. He's an individual that helped start it, Coaches versus Cancer, obviously going through his battle as a survivor. But more importantly, you look at the success, the many young people that he definitely touched, but also coached. And he's a Hall of Fame coach in every right. He should be voted into the Hall of Fame. So for me, it was very, very important that I met or even talked to or established a relationship with Norm Stewart. And he's been one of my great supporters, friends, confidants, being able to sort of give me constructive criticism. Now, he's not going to be short for words. Now, he's going to tell you the truth if you got ears now. So for me, I love that part of it. And, I just appreciate him.
I do as well. And there is just something very special about that firmness, but also that sparkle in his eye and that smile. He is just so incredibly wise, isn't he, Coach?
Absolutely. He gave so many years. He and his family gave so many years to this institution. And for me, I wanted to talk to every single head coach, starting from Norm Stewart, then Quinn Snyder, then you got Mike Anderson, Kim Anderson, Frank Haif, Conzo Martin. I wanted to talk to every coach and just talk to them about their experience. And they all definitely said the same thing of how special this place was and is. and it's dear to their hearts and their families' hearts as well.
I feel like you have such great support, and I know that it is not easy to guide a program, and you had to go through some bumps last year, and when you go winless in conference, it's not fun, but I felt like I wanted to get your perspective is that people in Columbia, for the most part, really didn't blink. They felt like, based on what you had done previously and what they projected you to possibly do, they had your support. They had your back. Did you feel that in at Mizzou and in Columbia?
Well, I appreciate everyone who gave me an opportunity to be a head coach first and foremost. I don't take it lightly. Obviously, when the job came open here at Mizzou, I just looked at the big picture, and the big picture is this is a great institution. And that's what it took for me to leave Cleveland State. And obviously the support of our Board of Curators president and then AD Desiree Reed-Francois, the opportunity presented itself, and, I jumped at it. And it was something that I don't look back at. I conversed with my mentors. They said the same thing. So for me, the support is holistic. Now it comes with the territory. Everyone wants a winner, and that's part of it. But Coach Hamilton taught me something during my time as an assistant coach. He always gave me a story from his 1993-94 season at Miami when they went 0-18 in their conference. It was plagued with injuries and everything under the sun. But he went 0-18. He didn't talk about all the Kentucky days that he shared, but he talked about this specific time. And I probably got 100 renditions of that season. And it's about your mentorship, being able to get you through storms. It's easy to teach somebody when you are winning championships, cutting down nets, but what are you really teaching when you go through adversity? And Coach Ham wanted to transparently share that with me. And I'm thankful for that mentorship of him giving me the guidance, not only of his experience of going 0-18 in a season, but also how to get through that and navigate it and everything under that part. So I'm thankful that he gave me that guidance and he gave me that mentorship.
That's really well explained. And, I watched the video of the players dousing you with water after it was announced that you had won your 100th game yesterday. And after you wiped that liquid from your face and your jacket and that beautiful gold tie, you got up in front of them. And I believe you said something to the effect of, thank you for allowing me to coach you, but also be a part of your lives, because there is something
Absolutely.
bigger than basketball going on here, isn't there, Coach Gates?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I look at it from this standpoint. There's only few people that keeps a lifelong title in a young person's life. And you can think of the other ones. I'll just focus on my career, but I'm always going to be their coach. When they're 50 years old and they pull out a picture showing their children, this is Coach Gates, I don't take that relationship lightly because it's lifelong. So for me, I know how my coaches in my life impacted me at an early age, but also I know the relationship I have with them now. And I just want for my players to have the same relationship with me that I have with my coaches and mentors who helped me get to this moment, helped me achieve some dreams, accomplish some things, but also they helped me through life. They gave me advice. They were there during the transitions. They were there when my back was against the wall, and they gave me those encouraging words. So it's a lifelong relationship that turns into something deeper. And I'm just thankful that these young people have allowed me to coach them, be in their lives, but also their support system, their parents have definitely done the same.
This is Dennis Gates, the head coach of the Missouri Tigers. His team is 17-4 and 6-2 in a very tough SEC after beating Mississippi State yesterday. Everybody raving about your team. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of that going on around the country once people get back to all their talk shows tomorrow and they start talking about March Madness. But let's talk some X's and O's for just a minute. Your team plays a relentless style on defense, and then on offense, it does appear to me, not only do you have shooters, but you have great aggressive rebounders on the glass. You were very good on the offensive glass to give yourselves extra possessions, extra opportunities. Is that how and what has made you effective?
Well, I think first of all, coaching a player's heart. You can coach the physical part, but the physical can only take them to that obstacle, to that wall that the emotional and the heart has to, break through. And that's what we have to coach, and that's what I focused on the most. I have great relationships with these dudes, and I tell them every day I love them. and they will run through a wall for me, and they give me their very best, not just in basketball, but in the classroom, in the community. They give me their very best every single second of their day. And that's what I ask for. That's what I ask for, and that's what they give. You know, my whole thing is you don't have to demand things from young people if you coach their hearts. They'll be willing to give it to you, and you just have to now manage it. And I'm just thankful these dudes are able to give that to me, and their parents allow them to do that. And they want to do it together. They have fun with each other, and you can just see through the videos, through social media, through the camera, the relationship is real that they have with each other. And I just thank our sports psychologist, Dr. Joe Carr, for his help in our team building, because that's a huge emphasis in my program.
That is a really good look behind the curtain there, Coach. Thank you for that. As Dennis Gates is with us, just a couple more minutes, and I could go through your entire roster. I don't like singling out certain players, but it's hard. It's hard to ignore Caleb Grill.
Yeah, we're 18 strong. We're 18 strong.
You really are. It's hard to ignore Grill and what he did yesterday. I mean, I described it as he's lethal anywhere in the front court. I mean, how do you guard somebody like that? He pulls up from 35, 40 feet. That was unreal yesterday.
Well, it's tough to defend somebody's confidence. And when you have confidence like that, it's coming from different directions. It's coming from within, it's coming from his family, friends, loved ones, and it's coming from his teammates. So if you're having to second guess yourself in those situations, you're not going to have the outcome you want. But that's confidence. That's what it looks like when you pour into somebody's heart, when you tell them you love them and things like that. And Grill is an unbelievable player. He loves the state of Missouri. He loves our institution. He loves the city of Como. But more importantly, he loves his teammates, and he would not rather do it with anyone else other than his Mizzou Tiger teammates.
Last quick one. Let me drop this one on you. Your impressions of St. Louis so far as you've made your way through a few campaigns of Mizzou basketball, and what the city has meant to you and your program and university.
Well, that footprint means a lot to this institution. You know, as a state institution, you know, it's important that we touch our metropolitan cities. St. Louis has been a comfort zone for me. I have developed some great relationships throughout our state, but specifically within the city. And what the city has done in return is opened their arms to me and my family, and they squeezed us tight. And I'm thankful for those relationships, friendships, and those two will last a lifetime. And, you know, at the end of the day, you know, for our future students, any high school student out there that's looking for an institution, I can just let you know how special it is here in the city of Como, and we would love to have you.
It's great to visit with you. Thank you for the time. Looking forward to catching up with you again, and congratulations on a great victory yesterday in Starkville.
Thanks. I share with everybody out there, MIZ.
ZOU to Coach Dennis Gates, the head coach of the Missouri Tigers. Great to be with him, and nice to hear him on KMOX. We'll take a break. When we come back, it's the head coach of the St. Louis Billikens, Josh Schertz, joins us live. It's coming up on 1029. This is Sports on a Sunday Morning from the Stiefel Sports Studio.
You are a successful electrical contractor, but you plus a dedicated team supporting your project from day one? That's taking your productivity to the next level. And Graybar can help you get there. Your relationships plus our relationships. Your capabilities plus our job site services. Your challenges plus our technical specialists. You alone can get the job done, but you plus Graybar, that's smart business. Yep, Graybar does that.
I don't know how to ask.
They know what sounds are funny.
Or what smells are funky.
That's right. No one knows their furnace like they do. So go ahead, ask.
Okay. Is your furnace funky?
If it is, then make but one call.
And Jerry Kelly will be there the very next day.
Call anytime, 8 to 8, 8 days a week.
And Jerry Kelly will fix your furnace or install a new one the very next day.
JerryKelly.com. KMOX Weekend at your service. Sponsored by Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Installation.
Retiring soon? Get the information you need by joining Kyle Jones and Matt Allgeier of Fira Capital Management for your retirement highway, Sunday mornings at 9:30. Investment advisory services made available through Pine Ridge Advisors, LLC, registered investment advisors. Securities made available through AE Financial Services, LLC, member FINRA and SIPC.
Taxes was not knowing your full financial picture. Now Taxes is getting and maximizing your refund all in one place. Credit Karma. where a TurboTax expert can do your taxes for you. They'll get you the most money back, guaranteed. Then you can do more with all that money, all in Credit Karma. Now this is taxes. Intuit Credit Karma with TurboTax. Get started today. See guarantee details at turbotax.com/guarantees. Experts only available with TurboTax Live.
Royal Banks of Missouri is your community bank with locations throughout St. Louis, St. Charles, Northeast Missouri, Granite City, and Jerseyville, Illinois. A bank branch is not far away. Royal Banks brings in experienced staff and products and services designed to meet your professional and personal financial needs. Investing in our communities, one client at a time. Call 314-212-1500 today. Royal Banks of Missouri, member FDIC, and equal opportunity lender. Looking for a new home or to refinance your current mortgage? Royal Banks of Missouri wants to be your home buying partner. With a local staff that will guide you through the process, Royal Banks is an experienced mortgage lender that you can trust. There's still time to lock in on a low rate. Call 314-212-1500 today. Royal Banks of Missouri, where better service means better banking. Member FDIC and equal opportunity lender.
Welcome back to the Gray Bar Sports on a Sunday morning.
Goldschmidt swings and he hits a drive. He hits a slammer.
Gray Bar, your distributor for electrical and datacom needs.
Billikens win! Billikens win!
Once again, from the Stifel Financial Sports Studio, Tom Ackerman.
Rebound, Johnson. Bills bring it back down by 7. Johnson for Swope on the left wing. Wants a 3. Bang! Swope show! Timeout, St. Louis.
Calling KMOX Friday night. That place was rocking at Chaffetz Arena. SLU lost it to Dayton 71-63. The head coach of the Billikens is Josh Schertz. Coach, it is always great to talk ball with you. How are you this morning?
I'm doing okay. Appreciate you having me on. Always enjoy connecting. I'm in my 10:30 slot, so I feel ready to go.
Good. I love when you're in the 10:30 slot, and I love talking basketball with you. Our Billiken Report sponsored by Royal Banks of Missouri. Let's start with that atmosphere. I was there. I was in the house. I had my daughter Audrey with me, and we just ate it up. I mean, that's how the place should be, and that's how I believe it will be when you get this program to exactly where you want it. St. Louis responded Friday night, didn't they?
They were awesome. It was, it's been building. I thought we've had some good crowds in the league. We've had a couple of pretty good wins. You look at, we had a top 35 win over VCU and a couple top, 90 wins over St. Bonaventure, St. Joe's at home. And crowd was great in those games. VCU had been the best crowd to this point, in my opinion, going into Friday night. But the Dayton game, the atmosphere, the electricity, the energy of the fans, there was, a lot of reasons that loss was disappointing on so many levels. But at really the top of that was I was heartbroken for the fans because of the energy they brought, the energy they provided, the atmosphere they created, and you want to keep those people understand, hey, we are gonna get this thing right. That this team is we gave ourselves a chance, but a big part of we had a chance was because the crowd kept lifting us, kept pulling us. And I thought the same thing against VCU as well. So, hopefully we can build on that. And like you said, the goal is that a crowd like that we saw on Friday night becomes that's just a regular night in Chaffetz Arena. At some point where that's not an anomaly or it becomes that's the expectation, because that was one of the best home court atmospheres in all of college basketball. Although the atmosphere we experienced on Friday night, we just got to be a little better as a team. But the fans were incredible.
They were waiting for that run to happen. And when it was 34-17, I believe, was the biggest margin for Dayton. They're up by 17 early. Of course, that doesn't look good on the scoreboard, but we know in college basketball that can be reduced in a heartbeat. And you were able to close that gap almost all the way. It was 52-50 at one point. And then to Dayton's credit, they made shots. And you know what? They made shots that I think I heard you say that part of that was about your scout. They were just finding ways to get open, moving around ball screens in a way that allowed them to get some open shots, Coach.
Yeah, no question. We got it back to 2 there with about 7 to play, and we had it to 4 and had a layup to cut it to 2 with about 3.5 minutes to play, and had some chances. We had a loose ball play we could have made. Dayton, credit them. I mean, they were they outplayed us. They deserved to win the game. There's nothing there. But yeah, we had too many breakdowns. Tom, without, we obviously have a very small margin for error with this team. With the limitations inside the roster, all the injuries and everything else. I mean, our margin for error is incredibly small, and we can't afford to have any kind of mental breakdowns. And I thought, going back to the film, 9 of the 11 threes they made were on what I would call scouting report breakdowns, going under a screen on a guy that we can't go under, going, ball side of a down screen of a guy we got to be chasing and take off the 3-point line, over helping and giving up an open three, getting stuck on a flare screen. But, 9 of the 11 threes they made were scouting report breakdowns. That's what good teams do. I mean, Dayton's a really good basketball team. I mean, they've shown that. They obviously, have a bunch of big wins and they've been a little up and down in conference play, but they were really good on Friday night and to beat a really good team, there's a level of execution required and we didn't meet it. And I didn't think we met it from a physicality standpoint. We got beat on too many 50-50 balls. But the biggest thing was the mental errors, and then of course 19 turnovers. So there was a lot of areas you could point to. We got to be better in all of them. We got to take better care of the ball. We've been really good scouting report defensively in the conference play, and we were not on Friday. And then offensively we got to do a better job. We got to generate better shots. So we had 19 turnovers, and then we had a fair amount of what I would call shooting turnovers, where the shot selection. We weren't disciplined enough in terms of our generating great shots.
And we all saw the VCU game. I mean, it was a tremendous defensive effort and really offensively too. I mean, just a really, really great win over a very good VCU team that's every bit as good as Dayton and at times has looked actually better than them. But going back to Dayton, what did they do defensively? Was it both scheme and effort on their part? Because I thought from the very beginning, I watched how they guarded Robbie. Boy, they were bumping in that first possession. They were not allowing him to catch the ball. They were fronting him. They were pushing him. They were getting physical.
Yeah, no, they were super physical with him. I think, they guarded him kind of the way we're being guarded, which is, teams are putting their 4 men on Robbie. They guard him with Nate Santos. They put Letang in the paint, the 7-1 guy, and basically, stuck him in the paint and made him the all-time help. Because teams are not gonna. They don't have to really account for Kalu or those guys on the perimeter, and so they're able to kind of just stick a guy in the paint there, and then try to front, make it hard. They switched some stuff. They were super physical with Robbie on his dribble downs and the post up. They did a good job at helping Letang, I think, in the first half, blocked 3 or 4 shots where, we got our shoulders by, got the ball at the rim. He was able to rotate over. We've got to do a better job of scheming this to find ways to do it. We've got to get guys recognizing when they are being guarded like that, or guys an all-time help if the ball is driven. That's a great time to cut and get layups. We got to do a better job there. We got to be stronger with the ball. I think. But what Robbie's seen the last, really going back to VCU the first time, is that, he was guarded by, Jack Clark by VCU. He was guarded, he's going to be guarded by the opponent's 4. They're going to try to switch all of his ball screens to take away his pick and pop threes, try to put him into situations where he's, going to post up, and then they're going to put their center in the middle of the lane and just say, hey, you're all-time help. And that's how, obviously for Kalu, but also whether it's Dylan Warlick or Max Bakar or Amari McCautry or whomever, Killian Brokoff, they're all going to get guarded the same way. And that's why you see, Dylan made 2, got a couple wide open threes and Killian got a couple wide open threes out there. They're going to guard those guys the same way. We just got to step up and knock those down, but also recognize cutting opportunities. And Rob's got to be much stronger with the ball than he was, the last 2 games with VCU. Did it differently. They doubled him. Dayton played him straight up and just sunk that guy in to help because, it's 7-1.
Yeah. And, human nature, 2 things. One, I mean, he is human. So, he's going to take a beating and have to adjust to it. But secondly, human nature on his part, trying to make things happen. I felt like he tried to thread the needle a few times with those passes, right? And that's what led to some turnovers. He's just trying to make something happen.
Yeah, I think he's frustrated, and I think some of those turnovers are that. I think he got the ball, he got to be tougher with the ball, own his space better. He's got to hit singles I think he was playing, VCU doubled him, and I think, Dayton didn't. I think he kept waiting. He was more tentative than he needed to be. Honestly, the last two drives where he got it at the top of the key, drove it, and he got the ball at the rim twice for layups. He just missed both layups, which is, unlike him. I think he was just out of sorts a little bit. But, those were two really good plays. Like, those were aggressive downhill drives, and that was available to him because they weren't doubling him. He is human. This is a part of the deal, like regression, friction, adversity, like this is part of what drives growth for players, for teams. Like he's had a pretty linear career in terms of, he started as a freshman, he was good, didn't have much adversity, came back as a sophomore, became kind of a national phenomenon, had a really good team around him, and now he's having he's had this year has been a year of adversity for him, all the injuries, everything else. And then he came back and he was playing obviously at a really high level. Arguably as good a player as there's been for most of the first 6-7 league games. These last two have been tough, and this is part of growth, is figuring out, all right, this is how I'm being guarded. This is an obstacle put in front of me. Now, how do I clear this? And that makes you a better player. That's how every good player has to adapt. You come into a league and people don't know you, then you can get to your strengths, and people start to adapt to you and say, okay, well, he does this, take it away. Then if you're really good, people start double teaming you and they start game planning for you. And then your game has to evolve to be able to attack those things intelligently, which makes you a better player. And that's what you see with the really good players is, they see everything, they adapt to how they're being guarded, but the team's game plan for them. And certainly, everybody in our league is game planning for Robbie. There's no question about that. And now this is part of his growth and development as a player, is to be able to do these things at a higher level. And I think, he's got the skill and the intelligence and the will to do it, the competitive drive. He's going to be fine. This will wind up being a really good thing for him in time.
And when he got those two early fouls against Dayton, it kind of threw everything out of whack. But when you had 33 about to check in, I nudged my 14-year-old Audrey and I said, hey, watch 33. This is my guy here. This guy is a winner. I mean, he played, and did he come through for me? He made me look good. Awesome. 10 points. He was awesome. Dylan Warlick.
Yeah, Dylan's terrific. He's, it's such a cool story because, like I said, he couldn't even practice until November. So it's a guy who sat out the whole summer, the whole fall. We knew we were redshirting him, and here he is, playing huge minutes against VCU because he was great against VCU and he was equally as good against Dayton. And, it gives us a different look than Kalu. There's some trade-off in different things. Some trade-offs, that you have to give up, whatever rebounding and various things. But, Dylan can shoot the basketball. He's a skilled offensive player, and he buried 2 huge threes, but he can take you down the post, and he's so physical. He's so strong. He competes so hard. He's incredibly smart. And when you have a young guy like that, freshmen, usually their issues are, the transition from high school to college. What usually gets most guys is they either, they're not physically ready to play. He's physically ready to play. The second one is they don't necessarily play hard enough. There's a different level of, of effort and at this level and physicality, and he plays hard enough. And then the third piece is, they got to understand what's going on. The game at this level is more complex than it was for most guys in high school. So, and he's got a super high basketball IQ. So, those 3 things, he just checks and clears those boxes. And he's been able to really be impactful as a freshman. I think he's just going to get better and better because he's getting more comfortable. And this week should give him a lot of confidence to come out and do what he did against VCU and Dayton, which are arguably the 2 best teams in the league, and to come out and do that. He should have a lot of confidence moving forward. He's going to play a ton of minutes for us here down the stretch of the season.
Last quick thing. What can you tell us about Kellen Thames and his situation?
Yeah. Kellen for right now is out. And so, like I said, Kellen and I had a conversation coming out of GW, and I'm going to keep that conversation between us confidential. Kellen will talk about everything. I think when he's ready, it's really on him. But he's out for right now. I don't want to make any like sweeping statements that it's because I don't know, and I don't think Kellen knows. But for right now, he's practicing, he's traveling. but he's out, and could he return this year? Of course. Could he not? Yeah, of course. We don't know. I think it's just an indefinite deal, and so. But again, he's practicing every day. Kellen's handled a difficult situation with an incredible amount of grace and positivity, and it's not easy circumstances for him. And certainly, like I said, he's a guy. I mean, I think he's a guy that's an ultimate winner, ultimate competitor. I think it kills him right now not to be out there, but he's being such an incredible teammate to the guys. The way his positivity, his energy, he's pouring himself into his teammates, and you can see it on the bench and everywhere else. And certainly, we're all fingers crossed that he'll be back and at some point and be at full strength. Because as you know, I mean, if he's back at full strength, I think he's one of the better players in the league, and he changes our team dramatically with what he can do on both ends of the floor. But we don't know what the future holds there.
I appreciate the update. He is a difference maker for sure. It's a travel day tomorrow for SLU. They visit UMass, 6:00 tip-off on Tuesday on KMOX. I'll have the coaches show tomorrow with Rebecca Tillett at Westport Social. We hope to see you there. And Coach Josh Schertz has been with us on KMOX. Thank you so much for this, Coach. Safe travels to UMass.
Appreciate it, Tom. I'll talk to you soon, and I look forward to seeing you.
Look forward to catching up with you. Josh Schertz, head coach of the Billikens, with us, sponsored by Royal Banks of Missouri. When we come back, St. Louis native Brian Kamenetsky. He and his brother Andy run the Locked On Lakers podcast, and the Lakers are in the news for sure. They have landed Luka Doncic in an overnight trade. We'll tell you about it through Brian next on KMOX.
Don't miss American rock, R&B, and soul singing legend Daryl Hall. With special guest Glenn Tilbrook. Coming to Stifel Theater March 30th. And KMOX has your chance to win a pair of tickets to see the show. Daryl Hall, March 30th at Stifel Theater. Register now on KMOX.com/contests for your chance to win.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
We're talking about the ever-changing financial landscape with Jeff Sachs of Sachs Financial.
Retirement looks differently, and just because I need X amount of dollars doesn't mean you do as well. So when you sit down with us, we're going to talk and put a plan in place to accomplish those goals.
Sachs Financial, retiresafestl.com.
SSM Health welcomes the St. Louis Golf Expo, January 31st through February 2nd at the St. Charles Convention Center. 5 big brands with Pro-Am Golf, Test Drive PXG in the simulator, and savor beer and cocktails. Get free golf, free balls, and special offers while they last. Get tickets and info at stlgolfexpo.com.
To understand what makes Diamonds Direct so different than other jewelry stores, you have to go back 60 years, when a diamond cutter became well known for his exceptional craftsmanship. His diamond cutting business flourished for decades. Then his sons got involved and started selling these exceptional diamonds to upscale jewelry stores here in America. After a few years, these wholesalers decided to change the game and started selling these precious diamonds direct to the public at the same prices they had sold to the jewelry stores. The no middleman concept became an instant success, and Diamonds Direct was born. Today, Diamonds Direct provides that extraordinary value to people all over America, leading the industry with the highest quality diamonds that still come straight from the best cutters, offered at the guaranteed best prices, period. Diamonds Direct, a truly revolutionary concept with a unique history, rooted in quality, committed to excellence, and always focused on value. Proud to call the Lou home. Diamonds Direct, your love, our passion.
With the new year, it's time to make sure you have the best vision for 2024. That means scheduling your annual eye exam with Ophthalmology Associates. Call 314-966-5000.
Welcome back to the Gray Bar Sports on a Sunday morning.
Goldschmidt swings and he hits a drive. He hits a slammer.
Gray Bar, your distributor for electrical and datacom needs.
Billikens win! Billikens win!
Once again, from the Stifel Financial Sports Studio, Tom Ackerman.
Great to be back with you. It's 10:50, and we get to spend the next several minutes with Brian Kamenetsky, the St. Louis native, co-host of the Locked On Lakers podcast with his brother Andy. Brian, it's great to have you on KMOX once again. Welcome back.
It's great to hear from you, Tom.
It's great.
It takes one seismic trade in the NBA. You know?
I had to look at my phone like 5 times last night before I went to bed to make sure I was reading that right. What in the heck? Luka Doncic goes to the Lakers, Anthony Davis to the Mavericks, and there were other players moved, but of course, those are the big headliners. You just don't see big talent like that moving in any league, let alone the NBA.
No, and like you say, it was so big that, Andy and I are looking at this, and the Lakers had just finished. They were in New York. They played a great game against the Knicks, and we were talking about that. Just finished the show, but then we see this news coming in, and our first instinct was that Sham Charania at ESPN, who broke the news, was hacked. And we're not in the day and age that we live in. And then we started seeing it coming from other reporters and whatever. We're like, well, is this like a giant hack where the entire platform is like? We waited until it was actually on TV before we went and talked about it. That's how big of a deal this was, and shocking and out of left field. And I'm not even sure what the analog is for other sports. Like, I've never seen any deal kind of like this one.
Yeah, I told our anchor this morning, Scott Jaga, who's a big Bills fan, I said, it's kind of like if Josh Allen was traded to the Jets for the Jets' best defensive player, and the Bills thought, let's go win this thing playing defense. I don't even know how to comp it either.
Something like that. I mean, Anthony Davis is an outstanding player. There's no question. He is an all NBA level player, but he's 31 years old and is, obviously more on the backside of his prime. In the front, and he's probably a top 10 player in the NBA. Luka Doncic is 25 and is, he obviously going into his prime. He has been all NBA basically every year of his career, and he's probably a top 3, top 4 guy around the league when he's healthy. And I just like this kind of trade. It just, you don't see this in the NBA where a team will give up their generational superstar for an older player and not demand 15 picks in return. I mean, it is hard to say whether it's Josh Allen for, a defensive player, Josh Allen for, I don't know, Jaden Daniels or somebody. It's so difficult to come up with a comp, and in the NBA, it's impossible.
Yeah, it really is. And so it makes you wonder why and how, but it has happened. And now the Lakers have what I would presume to be the face of their franchise after LeBron. I mean, he's going to be a fixture for a decade in LA, won't he?
That's the hope. Dallas, I think clearly Dallas and their GM, Nico Harrison, had a very tenuous relationship with Luka. They were very nervous about paying him. There's concern about his fitness level. I mean, and this is pretty well documented. He's not exactly a picture of physical fitness. I think everybody understands that, but you're correct. Like, it was always assumed the Lakers, when LeBron retires, whenever that's going to be, and he put up a triple-double in New York yesterday, so he's in no hurry. But when that happens, the assumption was always it will be Anthony Davis's team, and the Lakers will then look for the next star to pair with AD when that happens. But the Lakers actually moved off of Davis first, and now we'll see what happens with LeBron going forward. But yeah, I mean, Luka Doncic is their next star. Lakers always have a star, and Luka Doncic is the next one, and you would expect him to be a Laker for the next, 7 or 8 years at least.
Do you think Doncic can come back from this calf injury after the All-Star break? Is that the prognosis?
Yeah, I think my understanding, and to say the least, there's been a lot of catching up that everybody has had to do very quickly. Like, wait, how long does Maxi Kleber's contract run? Like, what's going on here? But I think most of the reports that I've seen was that Luka and Anthony Davis, who's also out with an injury, he has an ab strain, are both basically on the same timeline, coming back either before the All-Star break, barely, sometime early this week, later this week, I should say, or right after the All-Star break. So they're both on basically the same timeline. The difference is, and I've seen some of this, that the Mavs were worried that Luka's return from injury would be hampered by his physical fitness. He's got the calf strain, and if he's not in shape, he's going to hurt himself again. So, they were clearly worried about Luka and being in shape and having to pay him.
The Locked On Lakers podcast can be found at Locked On Lakers on Twitter and throughout social media. Brian Kamenetsky with us. And before we go, you and I can always say teammates with Sterling K. Brown, you football, me basketball. That's right. We got that to hang on our hat.
He was my lead blocker. It's like, go open a hole for me, Sterling. I think it's fair to say that he turned out okay.
Yeah, he turned out pretty good. And I know that you and Andy are really proud of a lot of the things that you're doing in LA, and we congratulate you on that. And thank you for representing St. Louis out there.
Oh, I really appreciate it. It is always great to catch up, and love watching what you've done over the years at KMOX. It's just awesome.
Well, our thoughts are all with you as well. The wildfires there just horrible, and so we hope the best for everybody moving forward.
Cool. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Brian Kamenetsky with us on KMOX, Locked On Lakers, and the seismic trade of Luka Doncic to the Lakers from the Mavs for Anthony Davis. We'll be back after the news on KMOX.
You're leaving for work, but the garage door won't open. Is it the opener? Is the spring broken? Now you're late and your car is trapped. Well, don't panic. Overhead Door Company of St. Louis is here with same-day emergency service. They won't leave you stuck. The original Red Ribbon Garage Door Company, trusted in St. Louis since 1926. Call 314-781-5200 or schedule online at overheaddoorsstlouis.com.
When we started Neovitin back in 2009, we wanted to create a multivitamin that we would take ourselves. That's why we use quality ingredients in our Neovitin Original Formula multivitamin. With over 20 vitamins and minerals, along with our physician-formulated proprietary blend, you can be sure you are getting the highest quality daily nutritional support. Give Neovitin Original Formula multivitamin a try for yourself. Find it at your local Schnucks, Dierbergs, and online at neovitin.com.
Hi, this is Charlie Brennan. When you go to the Audiology Center, you'll see a doctor of audiology. And with us right now, Dr. Colleen Bosler. Dr. Bosler, what are some of the signs of hearing loss?
Well, it's a number of things. Sometimes loved ones notice a person asking others to repeat themselves, or the television is too loud. What people tend to notice first with hearing loss is the loss of clarity. They can hear people talking, but they cannot always understand what's being said. That's because the hearing loss can cause you to miss certain consonant sounds, and those consonant sounds give us the detail to the word. A hearing aid can help bring back those details and give you a sense of clarity that you're missing.
Dr. Colleen Bosler at the Audiology Center with 3 locations in the greater St. Louis area. Call for an appointment, 636-441-7470. Online, theaudiologycenterstl.com.
This is an important notice to all U.S. taxpayers. The IRS is giving away billions of dollars in tax savings through a federal program called the Fresh Start Initiative to aid delinquent taxpayers. This initiative was established for anyone facing financial hardship and unable to pay their back taxes. Qualifying and enrolling in this program will stop all collections, settle your delinquent tax problem, and even reduce what you owe by thousands of dollars. Call the hotline at People's Tax Relief to see if you qualify and get this free information by dialing 800-727-9105. If you have unfiled tax returns or cannot afford to pay your personal or business back taxes, you can now get the help you need. One simple phone call can resolve your tax problem and save you thousands of dollars. To see if you qualify and to get this important free information, call 800-727-9105. 800-727-9105. 800-727-9105.
KMOX KEZK HD2 St. Louis.
The home of the Cardinals. KMOX. Always live on the free Audacy app.
Riley Auto Parts.
I'm Christopher Cruz. It's a tit-for-tat over tariffs between the U.S. and our northern and southern neighbors.
The tariffs are 10% against Chinese goods and 25% against goods from Mexico and Canada. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau says his country will not sit idly by.
Canada will be responding to the U.S. trade action with 25% tariffs against $155 billion worth of American goods.
The Prime Minister said for starters, those goods would include Florida orange juice, Tennessee whiskey, and Kentucky peanut butter. Linda Kenyon, CBS News, Washington.
Trump says Canada should just become the 51st American state. Linda Schlesinger is the owner of Skinny Teas, a business whose goods are made at a factory in China.
That 10% on the wholesale end for the consumer becomes 20% on the retail end.
Gas Buddy's Patrick DeHaan says the tariffs could affect gasoline prices significantly.
Not only is this going to cause consumers probably pay more in the areas of anywhere from 5 to 25 cents a gallon and potentially more, but the also risks of retaliation are significant that could further drive up fuel prices for many Americans.
Families of some of the 67 victims of last week's mid-air collision walked along the banks of the Potomac River this morning. CBS's Skyler Henry says investigators are trying to learn what was going on in the tower at the time of the collision.
The NTSB said Saturday 5 air traffic controllers were in the tower at Reagan National Airport at the time of the American Airlines regional jet collision with an Army Black Hawk helicopter. Officials have begun interviews with all 5 ATC personnel.
The remains of 42 people have been pulled from the river. 38 have been positively identified. On CNN, Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy was asked about the crash of a Lear jet in northeast Philadelphia Friday night.
I don't think we're going to know more information until we get the black box out of Philadelphia. It was a pretty steep nosedive into the ground. It's going to take some time, but NTSB feels pretty good that they're going to be able to recover the black box.
The 6 people on the medical transport jet died. 1 person in a car was killed. President Trump meets with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu at the White House on Tuesday. This Israeli man says he just wants one thing to come from the talks.
I hope President Trump will put pressure on him like he did before, so the deal will be done and all the families will be together and the war will be ended.
Hamas freed 3 hostages in the southern Gaza Strip yesterday. In exchange, Israel released 183 Palestinian prisoners. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
At 11:03, mostly sunny, 52 downtown at the Arch. Good morning. I'm Scott Jagow. Our top story this hour, comments made online lead to an apology in the latest saga from City Hall and the Rams settlement.
What? Till Tuesday at 10 a.m.
As KMOX told you Friday after her amendments were blamed for killing the Rams settlement bill compromise and losing a procedural vote, Aldermanic President Megan Green shut down the Board of Aldermen meeting before any real debate could begin. Then fireworks popped as Green was heard on her way out the door saying, quote, "You want to play games? We'll play games," close quote. Alderman Joel Vollmer shouted back, quote, "It's not games, it's politics," close quote.
You were talking about someone who doesn't want to work, start coalitions. This is not a monarchy. This is a Board of Aldermen.
Then Green went online saying Vollmer was visibly intoxicated at the meeting. Less than 24 hours later, she sent an official letter to Vollmer apologizing for unprofessional behavior online, acknowledging it did not meet her personal or professional standards, and confirming that she deleted her comments. Stuart McMillan, KMOX News.
More than 1,000 protesters filled the streets of downtown yesterday, protesting federal funding delays that led the International Institute of St. Louis to furlough half of its staff, or more than half. The cuts are a result of recent actions by the Trump administration to suspend immigration programs, and that includes the specific nature of the International Institute, which is refugee resettlement. Students at SIU Edwardsville might be seeing more cops in their classroom, but they're not standing guard.
That's because there's a new effort between 4 state universities and Illinois State Police to award college credit hours for Cadet Training Academy completion. Governor J.B. Pritzker.
We ought to be giving our police everything they need to carry out their work, and educational advancement
is one vital element of that.
State Police Director Brendan Kelly.
The curriculum taught at the Academy covers many of the same subjects required for a degree in criminal justice, including criminal law and criminal procedure, human trafficking, juvenile justice, constitutional law, and more.
SIUE plans to award 8 hours toward a bachelor's degree. Brad Choate, KMOX News.
Pretty nice Groundhog Day today with temperatures around 63 this afternoon, mid-40s overnight. Tomorrow, even warmer. We might get to 71. The record, by the way, is 75, set in 1890. Mid-40s again Tuesday, and then Wednesday, upper 50s. Right now, it is 50 in St. Peter's, 55 in Florissant, and 52 downtown at the Arch. I'm Scott Jagow, KMOX News.
This is the Graybar Sports on a Sunday morning.
Goldschmidt swings and he hits a drive. He hits a slammer.
Graybar, your distributor for electrical and datacom needs. Now, from the Stifel Financial Sports Studio, Tom Ackerman.
Well, thank you very much for being with us at 11:06. We're here until noon, sports on a Sunday morning. We've had some show already. You can go back and watch or listen, rather, on the Audacy app. Everything will be up. The live stream that's up right now on YouTube and X and Facebook and everything else. We appreciate all of you viewing us. Some people choose to do it that way. And you can see me in the studio wearing my Worldwide Technology Raceway hoodie, Drew. Sometimes I wear the logo. Sometimes I throw on the some of the other people that I represent. Anheuser-Busch. I enjoy that very much. Maybe a little Guns and Hoses once in a while. I kind of went off on the Board of Aldermen and city government at the start of the show, if that tickles your fancy. We also had Dennis Gates. What a fun interview that was. What a great guy. Head coach of the Missouri Tigers. And then I love talking X's and O's with Josh Schertz. And we did that. We talked some basketball at 10:30. So my rant, I guess you would say, followed by Dennis Gates and then Josh Schertz. And we just talked to Brian Kamenetsky, who, along with his brother Andy, and if those names ring a bell, they are St. Louis natives. They're based in L.A. now, and for a long time they have been following the Lakers. In fact, they co-host the Locked On Lakers podcast. They're going to have a busy podcast this week because if you haven't heard by now, the superstar Luka Doncic was traded to the Lakers last night for Anthony Davis. He goes to the Dallas Mavericks. This hour, we'll be joined by John Mozeliak, the Cardinals president of baseball operations. I've had a couple of comments I'm looking at here on the stream. Pete said, what a great show today. Thanks. Pete Graham, thank you very much on Facebook. Someone on Twitter, X, said, and goes by Chili Pepper 1969. Why Mo? ? Need Bloom on this show. Mo is a lame duck. Well, I'll agree with one thing in there. Actually, two things. Mo is in his lame duck year. He is going to be out as the president of baseball operations following this year, but he still is doing his job, and his job is to set this team up for Chaim Bloom in the front office and also for this major league season. He is the president of baseball operations, and that's why we have him on the show. I agree that we need Bloom on the show, but the Cardinals and Chaim Bloom have made that decision to not speak on behalf of the organization, as he is respecting Mo's position and John Mozeliak's job. Let me just take you back a little bit. John Mozeliak was the one who reached out to Bill DeWitt Jr., the Cardinals chairman, and said, I think we should take a look at Chaim Bloom for an extra set of eyes. And DeWitt said, it's exactly what I wanted to do. I thought the same thing. So they both pursued it. They got him. This has been 2 years in the works. This was in 23. So Chaim has been part of this organization for a while now, but now he has been elevated to the president of baseball operations in waiting, which will be next year. But in the meantime, he is busy putting this minor league system together with Rob Cerfolio, who is the assistant GM now, with Larry Day, who is the farm director, basically, head of player development. So there is a process here. There is collaboration going on, and there is respect. And Bloom is respecting Mozeliak's position as the spokesperson for the team. So until that happens, Chaim becomes more of a public figure as a St. Louis Cardinals leader, then we will start having him on the show, and we will respect that process. So I just wanted to answer that question. But I appreciate you commenting always and listening. Man, we have some great listeners. Sharp, always good. And then, the Doncic trade brings to mind, wouldn't you love baseball to do some of that? Now, I know that, baseball purists and fans would be like, oh, no, you can't. You couldn't trade a superstar for a superstar. That's unthinkable. Well, the NBA does a heck of a job of creating interest. They really do. Do you like the NBA? I mean, really, do you like watching the NBA? Do you like that product? Or do you like everything else that goes into it? The personalities, the big money contracts, the drama, the big cities, the glitz, the glamour, the excellent talent that steps on the floor, and you're actually witnessing some of the greatest to ever play the game. I think that's what NBA fans like. They like the entire package, not just the basketball. Now, college basketball fans like myself, some of us will look at that and be like, it's hard for me to get into an NBA game. We respect the talent, but we like the chaos of college basketball, the mistakes that are made, the intensity, the tears, the crowd, the student section, and all that stuff. But the NBA has something that no other sport has. The NFL does this well too. They have a fascinating offseason where they throw rumors out there, where players move from team to team. And heck, in the middle of the season, they throw down with monster trades to get your attention. And this one, this is going to go down in history. You just don't see this very often. You don't see a superstar for a superstar. Let me take that back. An MVP candidate for a superstar. As Luka Doncic is 25 years old and is going to win multiple MVPs. He's that good of a player. Traded to the Los Angeles Lakers? I mean, that is just wild. Wild. So hats off to the league. Whoever thought this one up will be ridiculed. The Mavs are getting absolutely killed here and ridiculed for the trade. I get that too. I also say good for the league. They're getting everybody, but everybody is talking about the trade, even those of us who don't cover the NBA all that often. Appreciate you joining us on Sports on a Sunday morning. When we come back, I'll tell you what we love here in this town. We love basketball. We love football. We love baseball and hockey, racing, tennis, golf. Go right down the list of all the great sports. But we are big, big fans of soccer in this town. And St. Louis City SC has created a phenomenon over at Energizer Park. At what point, though, do the fans start to hold them accountable to the level of, let's go here? The first year they win the regular season Western Conference. Last year they don't make it. They let go their coach, Bradley Carnell, and they brought in Olaf Melberg. They've also brought in some new players. You're going to hear about them in a preview of the 2025 MLS season for St. Louis City SC. Coming up next on Sports on a Sunday morning, we're in the downtown studios at KMOX, the Stiefel Sports Studio.
Hi, I'm Jim Brennan of McKelvey Homes. Have you always wished for a brand new home, but don't want to leave your neighborhood? You are in luck. McKelvey has brand new move-in ready homes in established neighborhoods like Creve Coeur, De Pere, Kirkwood, and many more. Select one of our custom home sites or we will build on your lot. You will love McKelvey's legendary quality and personal service. Visit McKelveyhomes.com and move up to McKelvey since 1898.
SSM Health welcomes the St. Louis Golf Expo, January 31st through February 2nd at the St. Charles Convention Center. Get free golf, free balls, and more while they last. Presented by Post Dispatch. Test big brands with Pro-Am Golf. Enjoy the Sinclair Lincoln Long Putt, St. Louis Battlehawk Simulator, and lessons by Elevate Golf. All at the Golf Expo, January 31st through February 2nd in St. Charles. Thanks to Tito's Vodka, Sun Valley Golf Course, Michelob Ultra, and PXG. Special tickets at stlgolfexpo.com.
A happy place comes in many colors. One that leaves you feeling refreshed. Something that gets you all fired up. Or gives you the space to chill. Whatever your color, bring happiness home with CertaPro Painters and make your happy place your home. CertaPro Painters. That's painting happy. Get started today at CertaPro.com. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Contractor license and registration information is available at CertaPro.com.
If I could be you.
And you could be me?
For just 1 hour. If you could find a way.
To get inside each other's mind.
Walk a mile in my shoes. Walk a mile in my shoes.
Walk a mile in my shoes.
We've all felt left out. And for some, that feeling lasts more than a moment. We can change that. Learn how at belongingbeginswithus.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Walk a mile in my shoes.
I had the worst dream last night.
You were in a car crash, and the kids and I were on our own. We had to move out of the house because I couldn't afford it anymore.
That's awful, hon.
My brother was saying he got life insurance from Ethos. With Ethos, it only took 10 minutes, and he got $2 million in coverage for around $2 a day. It's all online. No medical exam. He just answered a few health questions right from his house.
Ethos, here we come.
Visit getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
Sample rate is a 10-year term life policy for 35-year-old healthy, non-smoking male. Billed monthly.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. So at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited talk, text, and data for $30 a line when you buy two. That's just $60 a month for 2 unlimited lines. So if you're 50 and up, make the switch and save. Come on, you've earned this. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com today. Requires 2 lines of service, age validation, and credit approval, subject to system and area limits, taxes, and other fees apply.
Welcome back to the Gray Bar Sports on a Sunday morning.
Goldschmidt swings and he hits a drive. He hits a slammer.
Gray Bar, your distributor for electrical and datacom needs.
Billikens win! Billikens win!
Once again, from the Stifel Financial Sports Studio, Tom Ackerman.
Happy Groundhog Day. February 2nd, we are in studio for another 44 minutes. Glad you're with us on the show. It is time for a new season, the 3rd season of St. Louis City SC, MLS getting underway at Energizer Park and beyond, and that's where they had their media day on Friday. The preseason is already underway, training for City and their new coach, Olaf Melberg.
It's going well, I think. It's been a good camp. We've been working hard, trained a lot. So we were a little bit. We were very heavy actually in the first game. So struggled a little bit, especially our attacking wasn't good enough. We worked a little bit on our freshness for the second game and played really well. So overall, they worked hard, obviously from a physical point of view, but also tactically, and pleasantly surprised how well things have worked so far.
You talk about the attack. What have you seen from Klaus in his brief time? Because obviously he's a designated player on this team and a lot expected from him.
Yeah, I mean, I think also now there's a lot of focus on the tactical and the physical aspects. So I think we've got him and the others as well. Still got some work to do in the technical abilities, and we haven't worked so much in detail yet in the final third. So I think things will improve in that area over the coming weeks.
Santi?
Staying on training camp, what have you seen from the homegrown players and also from the draft picks?
Yeah, they've done really well. You know, a lot of energy, worked hard. They've really good data from a physical point of view, and also taking on board our style of playing now. So they've done really well, and got playing time as well in the games. So pleased with that.
Corey?
Coach, I know you guys are just coming together in these few weeks, but how have you felt that this team wants to win right away, especially after last year? Is there really that kind of feeling of we want to get right back out there and we know we have what it takes to win right away?
Yeah, I think so. I think especially in the last game now we played against New York Red Bulls, you could really see the energy. It was tough earlier in the preseason and for the first game because we were quite heavy. We trained a lot in the days before that, a few double sessions. Just before that game. So I think when everything comes together and they're really starting to understand the way we want to play with intensity and what that means for us, and we definitely saw some good signs of that in especially in the game against Red Bulls and also in training as well.
Go to Frank, then Matt.
Luke, this is the third roster you've assembled. I know it's really early, but at least on paper, do you think this is your most talented roster?
It's tough to say. I think we had always a talented roster, but if you're looking purely at numbers and names, we probably had the weakest roster in year one, and we won the Western Conference. We had a bit of a better roster in year two, and we didn't make the playoffs. So I think it's, as you said, very early doors. You can't really say too much about it yet. We still have a transfer window which is not closed. So I think that's the beauty about preseason, that you can watch and you can analyze, and the two of us sit together every evening to see, is there still something we want to do, or are we happy with that what's available? So yeah, I think we have a talented one, but I don't think you can compare roster 1, 2, and 3. They know us. They know how we play. Now we're having a few surprise elements again, obviously, with different players and also a new coach. But we will figure that out, Frank, once the season is on the way.
Matt?
Olaf and Lutz, any decisions made yet on who's going to be joining the camp and who's going to go down to City 2 for California?
Yeah, we made the decision, but I can't tell you.
Lutz Fan and Steel. I had to, of course, add that in there. I always love when he plays with everybody, including me. He also went on to say that Roman Berkey is going to be their goalkeeper and is going to be for this season, and they obviously love him and beyond. So I wouldn't worry about Berkey going anywhere. By the way, tickets are available. I'm going to give you some information on how to get single game tickets, but he mentioned the roster and some new faces, and I think this is a great addition. The German center back, Timo Baumgartel. He has a lot of experience, 28 years old, 140 matches at the top leagues in Germany and the Netherlands, and he was joined by our very own Jen Cease.
I'm going to try to say it right. Böblingen.
Yeah, it's great.
Close?
Yeah.
How do you say?
Böblingen.
Near Stuttgart.
Yeah, exactly.
Did you know that we have an organization in St. Louis called Stuttgart Sister Cities?
Yeah, Vin told me we have like a sister city to Stuttgart. That's nice.
Welcome to St. Louis.
Thank you.
Your last club, Schalke. When you were at Schalke, who was your rival?
Yeah, normally the rival for Schalke is Dortmund. For me, I know Berkey when I played against him when I was in Berlin and Stuttgart. So
Did you score on him? Well, you're back, but can you score on him?
We won one game against them. I know it. I directly said to him, and you remember that game.
And one other question, too, is I was looking up how the fact that you, Marcel, Giannis, Edward Leuven, Cedric Toyshert all played on the U21 national team. Granted, that was a while ago, but does that kind of connection that you had before playing together could translate on the field here for City?
It's a connection. We were younger, but still, like, they guys have the same character, the same ability of playing soccer, just more experience. So it's so nice to be back with them. It's nice to have these guys here because it's for me easier to integrate because I can ask all the questions I have to them. It makes it more easier for me. And of course, yeah, we know each other for such a long time, so I know exactly how they behave in different situations. That's a good thing for me because I need to know from every teammate what they behave in different situations. So I got to learn this in the training now, but already know from these guys, it's make it easier.
So go back in time for the people who don't know you. How'd you get started in your early soccer days?
To be honest, my mother was a national player in handball. I think I took the wrong way for her.
She's like, oh no, you want to play with your feet.
Yeah, exactly. They told me I have a talent in handball, but in fact, I was better in soccer. And at the end, I take the decision to play soccer. Played for my hometown, and then I went to Stuttgart, and now, have different clubs in different countries, and now I'm in St. Louis.
Do you have a favorite memory or time from your earlier days, fun stories that you have that you're like, oh, that was like one of the best times in my early soccer career?
No, I think the best times were when we were in the under-21 national team, discovering different countries. We were 10 days together, like 20-year-old boys. You can imagine there's nice times in different countries playing soccer together. My first game in European soccer, my debut in the Bundesliga was a nice feeling. All these moments, I have a lot of good memories.
Lutz talked a little bit just in the press release when we first knew you were coming to City, not only about your playing ability at center back, but he called out your leadership in the locker room. Center backs goalies are often sometimes just natural leaders on the field. How do you like to be a leader on your team?
I'm a guy who always communicates with his teammate. That's important for me. For me, it's leadership, not only speaking loud. It's about playing soccer in the right way, in a tactical way, to know the right spots where to stay. That's a leader, and also speak to others where they can improve. I want to give the team my experience from different clubs, from different leagues, from different European soccer games, because I think I can help them. I had a lot of tough situations in my career to come back, and I did it. So that's all the things I think it's important to teach also younger guys, because I had a lot of old guys teaching me their experience. And it's important for players that there are guys who leading them, especially in tough moments. That's for me leadership, to be there if there's a tough moment. It's always easy to hide when there's tough moments, it's always easy to lead when there are easy moments, but a good leader is always there. That's my way for understanding how a leader is.
Who'd you look up to when you had tough moments?
I look to a role model. I had Sergio Ramos as a role model, especially in Real Madrid, but I had also in Stuttgart, like our captain. He always speak to me when I was 8. He made a mistake. It's normal that you do mistakes, but he was always there at my back telling me go on. And yeah, I discovered different tough moments in my career, and it's always easy to give up, but my way was always to go forward. And sometimes you need time, but at the end it's the right decision to never give up.
And of course, I could probably be just patient and watch you play. But if you had to describe, what kind of center back do you look to try to be when you're feeling like I'm playing my best game? What kind of center back are you?
I think I'm a technical center back. I want to have the ball. I think my biggest strength is when I have the ball on my feet to build up, to play passes through lines. I think that's my biggest ability. And also, like always, for me, it's a perfect game when I never have to slide, because I'm always in the right position. That's my goal, to be in the right spot, to be there whenever it's a dangerous ball, to clear it. And especially when I have the ball, to start attacking, to break lines, to get the ability with my passing through the lines. That's my way of playing. It's not a typical maybe destroyer who I am, but for me it's always good. If you don't have to slide, you have a good game, because then you're in the right position.
Timo Baumgartel, the center back for City, I think it's a big deal that he had that experience on the German under-21 youth national team with Marcel Hartl and Edward Leuven and Cedric Teuchert, and there's more too. I mean, that's important. The chemistry, he sounds like somebody that is going to fit right in to this situation that City has presented itself with, a third year where they think they have a talented group. There is more to come, it sounds like. Lutz kind of dropping that hint that the transfer window is not closed. Much more coming on transactions and otherwise with John Mozeliak, Cardinals president of baseball operations, is going to join us next. By the way, I teased those tickets. The tickets are now going to be available. Single match tickets go on sale on Tuesday at 10 a.m. Season ticket members pre-sale begins. Tuesday at 2 p.m. My City Plus members single match tickets pre-sale begins. You have to sign up for My City Plus by today to receive that pre-sale access. Then Wednesday at 11:59 p.m. the pre-sales end. And on Thursday at 10 a.m., single match tickets go on sale to the general public for St. Louis City SC. We'll take a break. We'll talk Cardinal baseball with John Mozeliak next on KMOX.
KMOX Weekend at your service, sponsored by Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Installation.
Now Taxes is using Credit Karma, where a TurboTax expert can do your taxes for you. They'll get your refund so you can do more with it right in Credit Karma. Now this is taxes. Intuit Credit Karma with TurboTax. See guarantee details at turbotax.com/guarantees. Experts only available with TurboTax Live.
You're planning to sell your home. Like you, most families have been waiting on the sidelines. Now the timing is better, but maybe you still have questions, right? This is Debbie Monterey for Gloria Liu with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. I've been telling you about Gloria Liu for years now because Gloria Liu is St. Louis's real estate expert. And if you have a home to sell, you need to get to know Gloria like I have. I've seen her systems, her guarantees. I've even met some of her clients. Gloria is different than any other realtor. If you need help selling for the most money, you need to call Gloria Liu. Here's another tip. If you have a home to sell in Crestwood, Shaw, Maplewood, or the Central West End, you absolutely must call Gloria Liu. Take it from me, Debbie Monterey, and call Gloria Liu at 314-325-6888. 314-325-6888. 314-325-6888. Online at gloriahasthebuyers.com.
Conditions apply. Glory and seller must agree on price and possession date.
My best friend Jenny came over for coffee, said it's cold enough in here to play hockey. Well, my furnace broke and it's already late. Call Jerry Kelly cause they're open till 8. JerryKelly.com. They'll be here quick and have you feeling good. JerryKelly.com. Cause your furnace will be running like it should. They're certified technicians, I've been told. Will help you when it's hot and help you when it's cold. JerryKelly.com. They're fast and they're good and they got it going on. JerryKelly.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy and founder of Wesley Financial Group. And I want to set the record straight. I am not an attorney. I've never wanted to be an attorney. And the truth is, I really don't even like attorneys. If I sound like an attorney or if I look like an attorney, I'll apologize. But what I've learned in my 15 years in the timeshare cancellation business is you don't need to be an attorney to get folks out of their timeshare. At Wesley, we've helped over 40,000 families cancel their timeshare without me being an attorney. And I want to share with you how we do it. Just give my office a call and you will not talk to an attorney. And I guarantee if we take you as a client, we'll get you out of your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Call now for your free timeshare exit info kit. 800-317-2277. That's 800-317-2277. 800-317-2277.
Welcome back to the Gray Bar Sports on a Sunday morning.
Goldschmidt swings and he hits a drive. He hits a slammer.
Gray Bar, your distributor for electrical and datacom needs.
Billikens win! Billikens win!
Once again, from the Stifel Financial Sports Studio, Tom Ackerman.
A nice sunny day here in downtown St. Louis. And folks, we made it through January. That was a tough month weather-wise. It's February, and at some point, you just want to get some sun on your face. And John Mozeliak, Cardinals president of baseball operations, joins us. Good morning, Mo. And soon we are going to do that very thing down in Jupiter, Florida, as spring training is upon us. How are you?
I'm doing well. Yeah, you think about the calendar. I think the truck gets loaded on Tuesday. Should get unloaded Friday. And my understanding, too, is we have a lot of players starting to descend on Jupiter, so it's exciting.
I've seen that. You are 10 days away from pitchers and catchers reporting, but you've already had some unofficial reporting. I saw photos of Miles Miklasz. He looks like he's in good shape, actually. Pedro
he's in phenomenal shape.
He looks ripped. I don't know what he's been doing except working hard this offseason to come back and be stronger. Pedro Pajes was with him. I saw others down there. You got a whole bunch, don't you?
We do. And so we had a voluntary camp this past week, which will go into next week prior to pitchers and catchers reporting. And then from there, we'll also have our step camp begin for the minor leagues. So, yeah, I think over the next 10 days, Jupiter will be flowing with baseball players, which is always fun.
I heard the message sent by yourself, by Ollie Marmol, by the players, quite honestly. They want to play a relentless, athletic, strong style of baseball and a winning style of baseball. There was a message of this team cares and cares about winning. That sounded like it came from deep within, that, yes, they do hear what's happening on the outside, but the team also wants to convince itself that this quote-unquote reset that they're going through also, while that does affect the future, the future starts now and trying to build a new message, a new era. Does that sound like what you're trying to do?
It does. I feel like, right now there's some fans that are annoyed we didn't blow the team up more. I think there's others that are hoping that we can be a competitive club. So it's just really a fine line to walk. And I think what we're really trying to accomplish is give a lot of our younger players an opportunity so we know what we have, but still try to put a competitive product out there so our fans have a reason to show and be excited about it. So trying to kind of walk two parallel paths here, it's difficult. Obviously if things don't go the way we hope, then you have the season to then look at ways to arbitrage your players as you start to think about the future. But if things go well, then from an ownership standpoint on down, then we can look at it a little differently as well. So, right now we're trying to keep most of our resources / assets in place, and hopefully we can go out and get off to a quick start and get it going. But obviously we got 6 weeks of spring training baseball ahead that's going to give us a pretty good indicator of really what we look like.
And the first time I heard the word reset was from you on this show. And it was more about the front office is kind of what you were talking about at that time, but really just everything, the big picture, the system, the way that you are going about things as an organization was going to be reset. Kind of, you mentioned resources. I feel like there's been a reallocation of resources towards that lowest level of baseball to get everybody on the same page. Is that accurate?
Well, we've certainly been very aggressive in the hiring side of things. We always ran a very lean ship, if you will. Gary LaRocque and his staff, I think, to their credit, deserve a lot of thank yous, given that they were smaller staff than maybe other organizations. Now you're going to see a lot more coaches, rovers, coordinators, those types roaming around the minor leagues. And, you're hoping that really the ROI and that type of investment is that when you have players that are on the margins, you're getting them over the top and contributing at the major league level. So I hope that strategy works. I'm certainly, that's what we're doing. But that's going to take a little time too. It's not just implement and expect a return right away. So that will require some patience. But, overall, a lot of the new faces, a lot of the new coaches, I've enjoyed getting to at least say hello to them in the short term, but looking forward to getting to know them.
And in terms of moves, there were some moves actually made before all of this started by not bringing back Goldie, not bringing back Carp, not bringing back Keenan Middleton, Kyle Gibson, Lance Lynn. You can go down the list of some of those players. Not that I expect you to flip the roster or anything, but I am curious to see what other maneuvers might be made here before. I guess the elephant in the room is still Arenado. That's been out there. What can you tell us about Nolan Arenado and your feelings at this moment on February 2nd?
Unfortunately, not a lot. I think what you're seeing in baseball right now is the market's stalled. Obviously, we saw a lot of activity right before Christmas with winter meetings, but since then it's been a really slow-paced market. I think the industry as a whole is seeing that happen more and more over time, where there are a lot of players available in January, but as you pointed out right at the start of the show, that we're actually in February, and so I suspect the next 7 to 14 days are going to be really indicators of how this market starts to move, or how people start to react to it, because I do think it's frustrating because, I've been in this game a long time, and it used to be the off season would take you through the month of December. Then it started to leak into January, and now we're leaking into February. And you look at other sports and the excitement of free agency when you have a deadline, I think is much more newsworthy and exciting for clubs or teams in general. And so I hope baseball at some point gets to that, because I do think everybody will benefit.
I just said at the start of this hour, this Luka Doncic to the Lakers trade. I mean, I don't know. We could sit here and break down the trade all day long, Anthony Davis to the Mavericks, but it's good for the league. I mean, the NBA, that's what everybody's talking about. They all want to talk about this massive seismic move. About your team, you look at this roster. I'm going to ask you a two-part question. Do you see any positions that are jammed up where you might want to relieve that position and make a move? Or do you see any needs that you have going into 2025 still?
I think I don't see any positions like jammed up where we're forced to do something. Plus, with the uncertainty of Nolan right now, it's hard to sort of weigh into that. I feel like when you look at the pitching side of things, this time of year, you're always looking for additional relief help, because things happen over the next 5 to 6 weeks. So that would be something that we would consider at some point. But, right now we're focused on trying to do a trade, and we'll see where that goes.
Back to Miklasz, there's got to still be a fire in his belly. I know what a competitor he is to get back to what he was, because what he was a game one starter in the playoffs for you in 19, terrific pitcher in 18. He's been a horse for you even when things weren't going well for him. How do you evaluate the rotation with Miles Miklasz in it?
Well, I think in Miles's case, he's a guy that takes the ball. He's someone that values pitching every fifth day. He's someone that values going over 100 pitches, meaning deep into a game. I think the big difference for him is, he fills up the strike zone, but sometimes he does it so much that he doesn't get strikeouts, and he does get a lot of balls in play. And so if our defense is strong and we can support that, I think he can be successful. But, clearly he's looking at this year as a step to next year. And so highly motivated and, excited to see what he can do.
And then I call them the young guns: McGreevy, Matthews, Hentz. I mean, you've got some arms. I go right down the list. What is the reality of some of those possibly competing and breaking into the rotation, if not in spring training in early or mid 25?
Well, I'd start with McGreevy. I mean, obviously, when he got spot starts in the big leagues last year, he made the most of it. Obviously, a young man that's ready for new challenges. So that wouldn't surprise me to see him utilized some way at the major league level this year, whether it's in the rotation or even bullpen. You asked about Hentz. He's someone that still has to show that he can take the ball every fifth day and consistently do that. And there's some other things that he needs to work on, but electric arm puts it all together. He can be special. And then Matthews, obviously breakout year last year, named minor league pitcher of the year. I know he spent his offseason trying to replicate what he did last year. And so he'll be challenged to take the ball at AAA this year. How long he's there, time will tell, but very exciting arm.
Appreciate your time as always. Thank you for these 10 minutes that you give us on Sports on a Sunday Morning. We look forward to seeing you down in Jupiter, Florida. I won't be down there till March 9th. I'll hit those last 2 weeks, but I look forward to it. Cannot wait to get in the booth, on the field, and be with the club. Thank you, John.
All right, Tommy. See you soon.
Great to visit with John Mozeliak, Cardinals president of baseball operations. It's 11:41. Bernie Miklasz comes in. We have a lot to talk about with Bernie, and that is on the way next. Don't go anywhere. Sports on a Sunday Morning from the Stifel Sports Studio.
Hi, I'm John Walsh here for Omega XL. Do you suffer from muscle pain and soreness due to overuse, daily activities, exercise, or aging like I do? Do you feel it in your back, your neck, knees, or joints? I know I did. I finally found a solution. It's Omega XL, a clinically proven natural drug-free supplement that helps relieve daily joint pain and muscle soreness. Omega XL delivers results you can feel. Made with a proprietary oil extract from green lip mussels, it's a powerful super oil with no fishy aftertaste, small and easy to swallow, and is 16 times more potent than standard fish oil. Omega XL has been trusted by millions for over 2 decades and is backed by 40 years of clinical research. Don't let joint aches prevent you from doing the things you love.
Call now for Omega XL's BOGO special, 800-598-4890. That's less than $20 a bottle. Remember, there's a 60-day money-back guarantee. Terms apply. 800-598-4890. 800-598-4890 or omegaxl.com/Walsh.
We're talking about the ever-changing financial landscape with Jeff Sachs of Sachs Financial.
The reason why you work somebody like me, a financial advisor, is so that you have a plan in place, that you're not worried about the daily movements of the market.
Sachs Financial, retiresafe.stl.com.
The Humane Society of Missouri's Day of Giving is just around the corner. On this day, your favorite local TV station will highlight incredible rescue stories of animals fighting to survive, stories of courage, resilience, and hope. Visit the Humane Society's website to watch these powerful stories and see the life-saving work made possible by compassionate donors like you. These stories underscore why it's so vital to support the HSMO. For more information, go to KMOX.com/events.
SSM Health welcomes the St. Louis Golf Expo, January 31st through February 2nd at the St. Charles Convention Center. 5 big brands with Pro-Am Golf, Test Drive PXG in the simulator, and savor beer and cocktails. Get free golf, free balls, and special offers while they last. Get tickets and info at stlgolfexpo.com.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it. Did you know that 1 in 4 people seeking treatment for ED are under 40? So you're not alone. And even better, HIMS can help. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs at up to 95% less than the brand names when you get started at hims.com/joy. It all starts with an online intake form. From there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. Through hims.com, you can access a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Millions of men experience ED, but HIMS can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
Reason number 52 to choose Diamonds Direct over any other jeweler. Only Diamonds Direct gives you a 110% diamond upgrade guarantee. Let us explain. If you buy a diamond at Diamonds Direct today and decide in the future you want to upgrade to a larger diamond, Diamonds Direct will give you 110% of your original purchase price toward the new stone. For example, let's say you bought her a $5,000 diamond last year, but now she wants to upgrade to a $6,000 diamond. Diamonds Direct will give you $5,500 toward the new one. That's 10% more than you paid the first time. Guaranteed appreciation. Whether that first diamond was $3,000 or $30,000, you get 10% more. Who else does this? And unlike other stores who claim to offer diamond upgrades, at Diamonds Direct, there's no fine print and no minimum purchase requirement. It's 10% more, period. Come and discover real value and buy with confidence. Proud to call the Lou home. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion.
Welcome back to the Gray Bar Sports on a Sunday morning.
Goldschmidt swings and he hits a drive. He hits a slammer.
Gray Bar, your distributor for electrical and datacom needs.
Billikens win! Billikens win!
Once again, from the Stifel Financial Sports Studio, Tom Ackerman.
Bernie Miklasz, sponsored by Saliga Heating and Cooling, an American Standard Heating and Air Conditioning dealer. Good morning, Bernie.
Tom Ackerman, good morning to you, sir.
It's always good to talk to you. You know, I don't pop off all that often. I don't get all, I'm pretty even keeled, I would say. But I was sitting in here at the start of the show at 10:05 or whatever, and there was a news story about the Board of Aldermen running into each other and spinning their wheels and not able to figure out how to spend Rams money and people walking out of meetings. And I just I started the show saying, what are you doing? I mean, what are we doing here? I mean, just can our leadership please help St. Louis be better? I mean, you know, it takes leaders, it takes vision, it takes collaboration. Somebody please step up. I don't know what your thoughts are. You are a city resident, and I haven't really talked to you about this, but it does pertain to sports because sports are a big industry here.
Listen, I love living in the city, but I got to say, not as much as I used to. I speak for my wife, Kirsten, on that as well. Because over the years, you know, our property taxes continue to go up. The services that, in effect, the city's obligated to provide, you know, continue to deteriorate. You know, we're all concerned about crime. We're all concerned about public education. We're all concerned about a million things, right? But instead of the situation getting better, you know, the arrow continues to point down. And the only reason I'm giving you that background is that it leads to the final thing about this, which is I would like to trust our city leaders. I would like to believe in them, that they're going to find ways to grow the city. They're going to find ways to make it better for people who live here and pay taxes and do it proudly, and people who may be compelled or curious or perhaps even enthusiastic about moving here, because as we know, St. Louis City, you know, has lost a tremendous amount of population. I would like to just sit here on a Sunday morning with you, say 5 years from now, and just say, wow, what a turnaround this is. Gosh, just phenomenal leadership, and look at where it's gotten us. And what's frustrating on top of that is I do follow what's going on with other cities. I truly do. And there are so many cities that St. Louis could emulate if the leadership was in place to do so. I'm talking about Pittsburgh. I'm talking about Detroit. Those are two examples. There are many cities that were declared, especially Detroit, declared dying, dead, you know, hopeless. There's been some great things going on in Detroit. And before that, it was Pittsburgh, which changed its local economy in a dramatic fashion to get in the forefront of medical research and some other things. And Pittsburgh's one of the most shining cities in America. We can do this, and I know we can do this because I've seen it happen in other places. But what is the common denominator? What is the common thread throughout this? Poor or mediocre leadership. And it's been that way ever since I moved to St. Louis, and I'm grateful that I did in 1985.
And look, whether they are or aren't, it feels like the perception is that they're taking for granted some of these great people in St. Louis that are generous with deep pockets, like the Taylors, who came in and dropped about $1 billion on a complex in downtown West. I mean, it's not like we have to build anything more, and we have everything. I mean, we could spruce up the dome a little more, but we have a nice ballpark. We have a nice racetrack. We have a great enterprise center, the dome, Energizer Park, St. Louis University, on and on it goes. I mean, it's right here in front of us.
There's a lot of wonderful things about the city of St. Louis and living here. So you prompted me to talk about like my level of perhaps frustration as a city resident. And so believe me, I look at the other side too. I look at all the positives and I look at all the attractions. I look at the great neighborhoods, my fellow citizens. My gosh, you can just count on so many people coming through for you to help. They have your back and we have their back, things like that. There is a camaraderie here, but there's also continues to be a divide. And I don't know what the answer is there. But there are so many things that my wife and I treasure about being in St. Louis. And we're grateful for those things and the things we like to do, the things we enjoy. I could go on and on and on. But the frustrating thing, as I said, and I'll just say it one more time, is that we people that have St. Louis at heart, and put our tax dollars in it, and we're committed to it because we live here. We continue to live here. The sad thing and the frustrating thing is that we see the potential that it could be so much more. It could be so much better. And that's the thing that really kind of bums you out about it.
And I love it here so much, and I know you do too. It is home, and I will always root for it. Bernie Miklasz, let's talk about what's to come here. We just had John Mozeliak on the air, and we'll get into Cardinals pretty heavy on the Gas House Gang. We also have college basketball buzzing right now. We had Dennis Gates on the show. Bernie, I'll tell you what. I'm going to say it right here, right now. Missouri is a dark horse Final Four team. I'm not kidding you. I mean, I think they have the type of team that could be a real problem in the NCAA tournament, and they're going to get into the tournament.
This is a phenomenal coaching job. It is an absolutely phenomenal turnaround. How do you go from 0-18 in the conference one year, and then you come back the next year and they are now 6-2 in SEC play? How do you do that? Well, he brought some good players back and he coached them up, and they're better. And he made tremendous use of the transfer portal. And I assume the NIL program is going well. Dennis Gates is a coach made for these times. And if there were any doubts about him, last season was a really, really, really weird year. If there's any doubts about how good he is, or how he knows how to fix problems, or how he knows where to go to get talent, he's exceptional. And I think, I did a study, and I don't want to bore anybody with this. I did a study because I wanted to look at this. I wanted to look at, all right, how many teams in a major conference had a winless conference record and then came back? What did they do? Now, granted, this was a different time before the transfer portal, but let me just say this. The transfer portal has been working. It has been in place for 4 or 5 seasons now. And there's still a lot of programs who have not taken advantage of it. And they're terrible, terrible, terrible. So when people say, well, yeah, it's nice what Coach Gates is doing, but, he's got the transfer portal. Well, so does everyone else. And so why are programs like Georgetown, and I could name like 20 programs that have not gotten better during the transfer portal era? They've actually gotten worse. So I'm not going to discredit what Dennis Gates is doing. But what I was going to tell you is a winless power conference team in conference play in the shot clock era, which began in 1985-86. The best that a coach did in the follow-up year is to go 500 in conference play. So Dennis Gates can make history this season, do something no one has done in the shot clock era, which is to take a winless team in conference play and come back the next season and you have a winning record in conference play. No coach has done that during the shot clock era. And I don't want anyone like nitpicking and talking about, well, the transfer he's got tools and he's working with them and he takes advantage of them. That's what a good coach is supposed to do. So even Mizzou fans, do not nitpick anything about the success this year. It's exceptional.
It really is. And Bernie Miklasz is with us. You got to subscribe to the Bernie Show on YouTube to catch everything. And the Gas House Gang, of course. And we'll be back on tomorrow. And Bernie will be talking about the Cardinals, who are 10 days away from pitchers and catchers reporting. Arenado has still not been moved, and it's obvious why. And John Mozeliak just went on and talked about it without mentioning Alex Bregman's name. Free agency is just what it is. We're sitting here in February, and he still hasn't been moved.
I can't stand this system that Major League Baseball has. And they at a time where they should be using the off season to build expectation, get everybody excited, and be in the news constantly because teams are making moves, teams are adding players, teams are doing this, teams are doing that. The only people that benefit from the current system, it's not Major League Baseball as a whole, because no one talks about Major League Baseball outside of hot Major League markets. Everyone's talking about other things going in sports because Major League Baseball has, in effect, relinquished the offseason and the ability to market your product. So the thing about it, the only people that truly benefit are like the top tier free agents because they get great contracts, and that's great. And listen, man, get all the money you can. You know, that's the system. You've earned it. But what's happened here is you have certain agents, Scott Boras in particular. They hold their guys out, hold their guys out, hold their guys out, hold their guys out. They don't make deals until spring training or whatever. And it slows down the whole process because there's so many mid-level free agents. There's so many lower-level free agents who are just sitting and waiting because the logjam will not be eased until Scott Boras decides where he's going to put his clients. And so there are teams like the Cardinals or who are on hold. But they're not the only ones. There's a lot of teams that are on hold. But what about the other free agents? What does the Major League Baseball Players Association? Do they owe them something, or is it just the elite of the elite who get the huge contracts? Are they the only people that matter? What has the Players Association done to make sure that the middle class players and the lower class, in terms of salary brackets, that they're not going to be left behind? So I think the whole thing stinks. I really do. And frustrating to sit here day after day after day to wait for Scott Boras to decide, okay, I guess we'll sign now. It's ridiculous.
I agree, and it's got to change. There has to be a solution to that issue. Bernie Miklasz, you're always our solution. Great way to finish the show. Thank you so much, my friend. Enjoy this great weather and your Sunday.
Tom, always a joy to be with you, and look forward to the Gas House Gang tomorrow at noon, St. Louis time.
We are going to bring it for sure. Thank you. The news is next on KMOX.
President Trump has a solution to help America's working families.
I will support a tax credit for family care.